All right, UFC fight news happening today, and it's literally just a couple minutes ago, like 10, 20 minutes ago, that the UFC just announced, or Dana White specifically announced, that Ilia Topuria is actually leaving the featherweight division, vacating the belt, and the people that are going to fight for the belt are for UFC 314 in Miami. It's going to be Volkanovski versus Lopes. Man, that is crazy. There's a bunch of other fight news going on, but the fact that Topuria is vacating the belt is insane. I mean, when I think about people that can actually fight, and potentially be the next GOAT of their division, Topuria checks all the marks. Skilled boxing, power, he's got grappling, but he threw it all away, vacating the belt. Now, in a way, that's a bit of a badass move. It's badass because it proves how much he doesn't care about the featherweight division and he always wants to move to the next step. But I think it would have been a lot more better if he just stayed there. If he just stayed there at 145. I mean, he had the potential to beat Lopes. He had the potential to beat Mavzar. He had the potential to beat any other new contenders. I don't know why this is so squeaky. Sorry about that. But he had all the potential to beat the new contenders at 145, and now he's just throwing it all away. And we don't even know who's going to be fighting at 145 now. I mean, it's cool that Volkanovski and Lopes are fighting. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool fight. It's for the vacant featherweight belt, and I probably think that Volkanovski wins that fight. But, it's not like Volkanovski, I think, is actually even going to, win, in my opinion. Like, here's the thing. He probably does win that fight, but I feel like when you actually start thinking about it, I feel like he doesn't. I have a feeling that he's not going to win. And I think it might have to do with the 35-0 curse, because I think Volkanovski now is about to be 36 or almost there. But I just don't see a way that even if Volkanovski does somehow miraculously win, I don't see him being able to defend the title again more than once. Like, I think on his first title defense, he's going to lose, and he's probably going to lose to someone like Mavzar. So, in a way, I'm actually kind of saddened by Ilia Topuria moving up against the division, because I really do think he could have done really good things by staying up at 145. And the next question is, who does he fight at 155? Is he going to fight Dustin Poirier? Is he going to fight Arman Tsarukyan? Charles Oliveira? Or better yet, how about you give him a title shot and have him fight Islam Makhachev? That's the only fight that I want to see. I don't want to see anything else. I think that's what Topuria is trying to do. Topuria is so stricken when wanting to fight Islam Makhachev, that I can see him using an excuse as him vacating the title just to fight Islam Makhachev. I think Topuria wants that fight so badly, and he realized that Makhachev only has like 1 or 2 fights left at lightweight before moving up at 155, or my bad, moving up at 170, because, he did talk about moving up at 170, and if you want my opinion, after the announcement with Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Dilla Maddalena, I guess his Shafkat is too injured. Shafkat is too injured, doesn't want to fight in time in May, and we're going to see Bilal Muhammad make a comeback in May, and I have it right here. It's going to be around May 10th, Saturday, which is about 3 months from now. 3 months and a little bit less than that, like 2 months and 3 weeks. But, what's going to happen is that, I think Muhammad is probably going to lose. I think Bilal Muhammad is going to lose to Jack Dilla Maddalena, just because I think Bilal is starting to show his age a little bit with the the little bone infection he had in his toe. And not only that, he's 36 at the welterweight division. Historically, 170 and under curse again to 170. Welterweight is one of the only exceptions for that. And I think that as soon as Jack Dilla Maddalena becomes champion, we're going to have Islam Makhachev, he's going to be aiming to fight for the 170 belt. So what I think is going to happen is, I think Ilia Topuria is going to find a way to fight for he's going to find a way to fight Islam Makhachev. And I'm pretty sure the UFC is going to try very hard to book that as a next title challenger. And because Islam was saying, oh, I don't want to give Ilia Topuria a shot. I don't want to fight a featherweight that's going to damage my legacy and doesn't do anything for me. Because then you remember people keep saying, oh, you went to war with a 145er. People still say that as an asterisk. And I personally disagree. I disagree with that very much, because that's the greatest 145er of all time. All right? As for now, he's the greatest 145 of all time. And then, the rematch had a bit of an asterisk. Volk was going off the couch, fat and floppy. But Islam just keeps saying, people keep saying that I'm just beat up short guys. I beat up smaller guys. I want to beat up like a proper 155er like Arman. And now that I think that he also was saying that Ilia deserves to defend the title. Like, he needs to defend the title a couple more times before he can move up. I think he vacated just so he can fight up without that excuse. So if by moving up, he can fight without the title being attached, saying, oh, you're active champion. You can't just go up in division like you want. So I think Ilia just wants to fight Islam so bad that he vacated the title, and now he's probably going to fight him probably around International Fight Week, if I had to guess. International Fight Week, or July, whenever it is, and it's gonna be badass because I think that's probably what the UFC is gonna do. It's gonna be very weird if the UFC decides to abandon that, and I hope the UFC does it because honestly, the only other fight you have legs for how do you say Islam is Arman. I don't want to see anything else. You either have only Arman, Topuria, and after that you have Islam moving up to 170, and then you see what happens next. But that's enough about that. The another fight that got announced is Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. You know, this is a fight that I think makes all the sense in the world, especially even though, like, Paddy, he was saying that he didn't want to fight Pimblett or, my bad. Paddy was saying that he didn't want to fight Chandler. I don't know why Paddy didn't want to say he want to fight himself. That was stupid. But he was saying he doesn't want to fight Chandler because he's falling with Chandler, this and that. And this is actually a fight that I can see Pimblett winning. Like, even though I'm a Michael Chandler fanboy, I know that Chandler is just not that good anymore, unfortunately. But I can also see Chandler, like, loading up with, like, a right hand and potentially knocking him out. And it's a fun fight. And it's happening in the same card as the UFC. Volk versus Lopes. And it's going to be dope. I really think this is going to be a fun fight. You know, when Chandler, every time he fights, it's like, you can't miss it. This guy is a crowd pleaser. You can never miss one of Chandler's fight. He can lose 10 fights in a row, and I'll still be exciting, even if it'll still be just as exciting like if he was undefeated. Chandler's one of those people that just puts it on. And if you want my opinion who wins this match, fuck it. I'll give it to Pimblett. I'll give it to Pimblett, just like predictions. And if you want my predictions for Volkanovski Lopes, I'm going to say Volkanovski, but 145 and over curse, man. 135 and over curse. Fuck it, I'll give it to Lopes. Why not? I might change my opinion as soon as the fight goes on. Like, if the card is happening soon, I might change it. But for now, those are my picks. Another thing that we can look at is the rest of the card for UFC 314. So check it out. We have Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull is finally moving on from the PFL or Bellator, and he's going to be fighting Yair Rodriguez. This is a matchup that's going to be insane, in my opinion. You have someone that's like a stocky 145er, and then you have like the clickiest striker in like the most unorthodox style at 145, and that's going to be Yair Rodriguez. I think it's almost impossible to mess this fight up. You know, it's going to be a certified banger, in my opinion, and I'm really excited to see Patricio Pitbull fighting in the UFC, even though he's past his prime. And I think whatever happens, it's going to be a fun fight. And look at this. We're still having more exciting fights. Jeff Neal versus Carlo Prates, man. Prates had like 3 fights last year, or I think 4, and they're all by KO. And it was just insane seeing how much Prates is just doing damage right now. And like, he's going through these contenders, he's knocking them out. Jeff Neal is also one of those like tough customers, one of those tough people to beat. He's not that easy to beat. And I think it's going to be a really exciting fight. It's going to be a striking battle. But if you want my opinion, I actually think Prates is going to put them out. I think Prates is going to be having a couple issues with Neal at first, but I think Prates has like enough power to actually put out Neal. And I think Prates probably is the hardest hitter at 170. Neal is definitely one of the hardest hitters at 172, so it's pretty much going to be very hard for this fight not to go to a knockout. I actually predict that Prates is going to win by a knockout in the 3rd round. And we're not done yet. We still have another good fight in Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. You know, I'm loving this Reyes comeback. Reyes right now is on a 2-fight winning streak, and I'm loving this Reyes comeback. You know, it's something that he needed after going through like a 3-fight losing streak, or what was it, 4-fight losing streak. And I'm really excited just to see him make a comeback. And I actually think that he does beat Nikita Krylov. And hopefully we can see him just put on a clean, because he did beat the fuck out of Anthony Smith. And honestly, that fight should have been stopped. It was just sad to watch. It should have been stopped earlier. I think it was stopped, but it should have been stopped earlier. Like, he just took so much damage, and I just feel bad for Anthony Smith, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him. But I'm picking Dominic Reyes for that fight. And look at this. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. That's a really good fight. And Woodson is one of those people, and I swear he looks like an alien at 145. Like, if you would have asked me who was the closest guy to an alien and like the UFC, I think Sean Woodson is. He's got like such a weird build. He's like so tall and lanky, and it just doesn't make any sense. But that's a fun fight. And then you got women's strawweight Yan Xiaonan versus Virna Jodoruba. I don't know how you say that. I can just ignore that fight. I don't really care about women's MMA that much. It's a bit of a meme with my channel saying that I don't care about women's MMA, but whatever. And then the last fight, Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. I'm always down for a Jim Miller fight, and Chase Hooper is, you know, slowly getting some mass, slowly trying to get up the division at lightweight. He did used to be a 145er, if I remember correctly, but he started getting some mass, and it could be fun just to see Chase Hooper go up the rankings. But anyways, there's a ton of matchup for this, guys. We also have Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena announced, so on May 10th. I actually think Jack Dilla Maddalena is going to win that match. I was really looking forward to Shavkat versus Muhammad, but I guess it just wasn't happening because Shavkat is probably still injured. But it's pretty cool overall, and I'm excited for this pay-per-view a lot, man. 2 months from now, a little bit under 2 months from now, and it's probably going to be one of the pay-per-views of the year, honestly. And I know it's only a vacant title fight, but the rest of the card is just amazing. Chandler, Pimlet, Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull, Neil, Pratis, Krylov versus Reyes, Dan Egan, Sean Woodson, Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Like, this card is amazing, and I can't wait to watch it. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys don't want to, then that's alright too. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.